that I do want to upgrade the family on because I don't want us missing out. So give me 1 second. It's about to get good. All right, now how many of y'all remember? Before I'm gonna start off with crypto. How many of y'all remember when I said? Let me shut this dress. Distract. How many of y'all remember when I said Ethereum Classic? When I talked about Ethereum Classic and its connection to Ethereum, right? And I talked about Ethereum Classic being a fork, right? During that time, I think it was up maybe 20%, 30% over the month. Now it's up 138%. This is why it's important to pay attention to opportunities that are in the market, and you have to be careful of being scared because you'll scare yourself out of opportunities. You have to be careful. Now, crypto is currently doing a rally. So while crypto does a rally, a lot of the people who talk shit about cryptocurrency shut up. They just shut up all the way. Right? And I noticed this a lot. Soon as crypto goes down, the cat's out the bag. They talk the most shit in the world, right? But as soon as crypto is having a rally, everybody shuts up. And this is dangerous because all they're doing is scaring you away from opportunities in the market. That's it. Right? I know for a fact that you all would love to be able to have 138%. You understand me? I know for a fact you all would love to be up 50%. Somebody telling you, yo, buy an Ethereum. And I like to make videos at certain points in time on purpose if you pay attention. I make the videos about crypto when cryptos are at points where I feel like people can sell and maintain profit because I think that there's a lesson in that, right? There's a lesson in the fact that, as crypto is going up, you do not have to, everybody can have different strategies, right? So for me, I like these 3 different strategies, depending on your risk appetite. Long-term hold. When you do not feel like keeping yourself up to date or what's going on in the crypto market, right? Then you want long-term holding, right? So that means that you're going to buy. You're probably going to dollar cost average, which is meaning that you're going to buy every month, which gives you an average price. So you might buy at high, sometimes you might buy at low, and it's going to give you a middle price so that the price that you have over a long period of time is the average moving price of Bitcoin or whatever crypto assets that you buy. And that's also applied in the stock market. But right now we're talking about the block market, right? Or you can be a little more risky in the same way where people swing trade in the stock market. You can swing trade in the crypto market. And the swing trade is when you're holding for a short-term period of time. So therefore you can take profit. In choppy times like this, you probably want to swing trade more, right? So therefore, let's say crypto goes down 50%, right? That's a signal that, yo, let me buy. Why is that a signal? Because if it goes back up 50%, then you make 100%. You have to be able to understand percentages when you play this game. Got to be able to understand percentages, my boy. Yes. Right? Now, when it goes down, you have to buy twice as much to be able to make up for it, right? Because of your losses. But when it goes up, you can make 100%. When it goes down, 50%. It's a different type of game. So therefore, it's a lot of opportunities. Now, crypto, and I'm going to get into some of my notes here. Give me a second. And because you really want to understand why is it surging a little bit? Why is it moving? And there's a lot of factors. It's never just one, to be honest. I don't think. I think there's a multitude of different factors. But at any given time, there's a lot of things to be able to pay attention to. Now, most people don't know what the hell is 75 basis points and, Fed rates and all of this, right? Now, I was doing some of my studies. And before I even get into that, I want to get into this recession thing that we're talking about, right? Everybody talk the recession talk, right? Now, the Fed chairman came on and said, we not in a recession. That's what he said. He said, we not in a recession. Now, people was like, but by definition, this is a recession. The GDP down, we got economic downturn 2 times in a row. And y'all said that's all we needed for a recession. I was looking at Trap. Trap said, I think he said 9-10 months. Usually a recession lasts. So you got 9-10 months of making you some money before we get economic upturn. So it's a good thing when you get a recession because it lets you know a signal for accumulation. Write that down. A recession is a signal for accumulation. Yeah, 9-18 months, right? A recession is a signal for accumulation. Now, there's something different about this particular time period that we in, right? Now, how many people feel like they understand what GDP is? Gross domestic product. I'm gonna keep it simple. There's a lot of different ways economists have argued about what GDP is and how it affects the market and things of that nature. And for this particular demonstration today, I'm gonna keep it simple in the most layman terms, right? It's economic output, right? It's the total economic output of America, right? So if you want to look at it as production, right? So we're talking about GDP. What we producing, right? Are we on the up and up? Now, let's say the GDP normally at 1.6, right? So let's say, let me pull up some numbers so y'all can get context. I think this is gonna be easy to get y'all context on this. It's gonna be easy to get y'all context on this. And you really want to understand this because this simple bit of information allows you to understand when you hear this information, right? When you hear this information in the news and it feel like they talking over your head, it has nothing to do with you, but it actually does, right? So GDP rates, because one thing about me, man, is language is key for me. It's key for me because that helps me understand things. So it's a real gross domestic product decreased at an annual rate of 1.6% in the first quarter of 2022, following an increase of 6.9% in the fourth quarter of 2021. The decrease will revised by 0.1% percentage from the second estimate released in May. All right. They say the ideal GDP rate, growth rate is 2% to 3%. So what they saying is we've had a decreased rate of growth, right? And our economic output. And so typically you're going to want the GDP, you're going to look at the GDP and the inflation rate, right? So how many people know what's the typical inflation rate? What's the normal inflation rate? They want to keep it somewhere around 1 to 2% because they think that that's good for the economy. Some people think it's good for the economy. Some people say 0% inflation. But there's different economic models you're going to go with when you're talking about inflation and why inflation matters as well. Right? So inflation is either talking about the amount of money that's printed, right? Or it's talking about the prices of goods, the rising of the prices of goods. So if you go to take a look at gas, right? Gas in some regions got almost to $10, right? And we talking about in some places a normal of like $3, $4, right? So what we've seen is an increase in inflation at high rates. And if you let inflation continue to grow, it has what they call hyperinflation. And hyperinflation is essentially when the money ain't worth nothing. That's basically what hyperinflation is, when the dollar is not worth nothing. Now, It's said during inflationary times, people actually spend more. How many people can guess why people spend more, right? Sometimes during inflationary times. It's not because things cost more. Who can give me the answer? If you can't give me the answer, you got to buy a badge. All right. So people spend more during. I don't see the answer. I don't see the answer. So somebody say paper money is made out of paper. They can literally print as much money as they want. Humans give money value, yes. But if they print more, then they increase the money supply and then they decrease the value of the money itself. So it's dangerous to just print more. So now the feds can't just keep printing because if they do, then they run the risk of creating hyperinflation. So it's dangerous. Now, the reason during inflationary times, right, people are spending more is usually because the dollar is worth less. So they're trying to spend it as much as they can because it has less value, right? And so oftentimes the wealthy are looking to put it into different places, right? Because they know that the dollar is not holding the same amount of value. And also during these times right now, we are in an interesting time because they say the dollar, by their standard, they say that the dollar is up 10%. Right. So you have to think about what that means. That means that you have a $1, but sometimes this dollar is essentially worth 90 cents. Sometimes it's worth 80 cents. If it decreases in value, if it decreases in its ability to buy things at the same rate. So you have to understand currency exchange rates, right? It's different out here once you understand that. Like I might have $100, but that doesn't mean that the actual intrinsic value of it can buy you what you consider to perceive as $100 worth of value, right? Because if I got $100 bill and they say inflation just went up by 10%, this $100 now buys 10% less than I would have gotten at first. That makes sense? So if you could have bought, if they say you got draws at the store and they $10 each, you can get 10 pairs, you got $100, inflation goes up 10%, now you can only get 9 pairs. Now, what they're saying though is that the dollar's worth 10% more. It's actually one of the strongest it's ever been. But this only going to last for maybe a few more quarters, right? Maybe into 2023, and it's going to go back down. So what they saying is when you have a strong dollar, then it attributes to the increase rate in the inflation. So the value of the dollar went up 10%, inflation went up 10%. But for real, in real terms, this is more so better for when you're thinking about traveling and going to places outside. Right now, this is not good for countries that owe America money because our dollar is worth so much that they currency, they got to pay us back more. So you see some countries going bankrupt. I think it was Sri Lanka, right? It's very dangerous when you got a fluctuation of the amount that this country is worth, the amount that this country is worth. You dig? And they dollars. So you seeing countries go bankrupt. We seeing China right now is going through an issue with the real estate market. I was watching a documentary on it, and I was watching some of the current studies on it. The Chinese people was over there trying to do a bank run. And this is dangerous, right? And this is why people say, yo, the idea of crypto has to come about because the Chinese market, what happened is people were investing everything in these banks. And people didn't know they were investing. A lot of people thought that they were saving, right? So imagine you go to the bank, you think you're saving, right? You put money in the bank, but they telling you this is actually an investment. So people hear about some of the issues in the real estate market and things of that nature. They not trusting it. They want to go take their money out. The bank say, no, ain't nobody can withdraw. We ain't got no money for you. The government responds by sending tanks over there and protecting the banks. The citizens is losing millions of dollars. They got hundreds of thousands of dollars tied in there. And they tell the people like, yes, there is insurance on the amount of money that you put into up to a certain extent, but not on investments. And the people never knew that they was considered investments. They thought they were savings. So the people in uproar. So what they did is you can watch the video. They sent out private security. You got some in white plain clothes and black plain clothes, and they grabbing people, throwing them around. It's anarchy out there. So now you think that this only can happen in China. China is not a third world country. China is booming. It's actually number one right now. So when you see stuff happen in China, it trickles over to us. China is heavily invested in us. They own a lot of debt. We owe them a lot of money, right? Our currencies, our exchanges, our import and export are heavily tied to each other. The only reason they're saying that the dollar basically has the ability to be a little more independent than other countries, right? Especially when it comes to when we look at Russia and we're looking at the gas and all of those different things, right? But that's not going to last too much longer. But Europe was so dependent on Russia and all those different things, it's messing them up. That war in Ukraine that America is sending billions of dollars over there for. You did? So it's dangerous. Anyway, we're going to get to, the regular inflation rate. Let's say 1 or 2%, right? Regular inflation rate. And then, but we know that the reality of the inflation rate was more so around 4%, right? That's what it was going for years. It was around 4%. Then it started to increase out of nowhere. So when you see a 60% increase, it has all kind of different effects on the economy. And really, what would make sense is that you would want the GDP to coincide, right? You would want the growth of the economy to coincide with the rate of inflation so that it balances out. So if the regular rate of inflation is around 4%, right? And then you be looking at a 1 point something. Well, let me see. What's the regular GDP rate? I don't want to just say nothing. These suckers trying to fact check me on here. Let's see the normal. I was studying this yesterday, but I don't know if I got it in my notes still. Look at it over time. So this is important. You got to pay attention to this. I used to think that, not having knowledge of international things, global economics and things of that nature wasn't for me. Then I realized how it affects me on a daily basis. And if I got this information, I could see ways to prepare myself in the future. No, inflation ain't 2%. Nobody says inflation at 2%. It's on the news that inflation is at 10%, but they have a model in which they measure inflation, and that model is old. So it has to be around, it may be around like 15%. It may be around like 15%. Maybe up there. Because if you go look at the prices and you go look at how much things cost right now, go look at how much used cars cost. Go look at how much gas costs, transportation. Go look at food. Go look at housing. Everything has risen more than a 9%. We high up right now. And the dangerous thing is when people are not getting paid as much, because normally during inflation, when you have what they call inflation raises, right? So if inflation goes up 10%, then normally really you want to see people starting to get raises of like 5%, right? Or 10%, of course, but 5% is like the normal. You're gonna give a person half of that, right? Just to keep up with the economic rate of raises, because you have to pay wages more, right? Because things cost more, right? And what that does is it decreases the profits of the businesses because they have to pay out more because of wages. So then you can see why the economic output starts to slow down even more when businesses not getting paid more to try to keep up with inflation, and it start messing up the whole economic model. You did. So we started sinking at almost a 1% rate, or they say 0.9%, but almost a 1% rate in a quarter of 2022 while increasing in inflation. That's not a good thing. If you in your household, and let's say that you bringing in, $50,000, right? And all of a sudden things start costing 10% more, that's not good for you, right? So what you want to do is keep up with your economic output inside your household with the cost of goods. with the cost of goods, with the cost of transportation, right? With the cost of all things. It's dangerous. So if you looking at it from America, and it's not as simple as I'm making it sound, but I'm giving you oversimplified ideas of GDP and inflation, right? So if we had 10%, how much do America need to make in order for this thing to work? So we know that GDP rate was not going to grow to a 10% level. That's just impossible. That's unheard of, right? So instead, the Fed's got to bring the inflation rates down so that they can catch up with the GDP growth and then figure out a way to increase the GDP growth, the amount of money that America is making, essentially, right? And then, of course, you have the jobless rate, and that's a whole nother metric that's thrown in there, right, when you're talking about job losses, which is really rating the government on how well they do. So anyway, we in a recession. It's a lot going on, but there's opportunities. Like I said, recessionary times, you feel me, are signals for accumulation. Now, they were saying Americans have actually been saving more. Americans have been saving more. Right? Now, they said that Americans had about $1.2 trillion more in savings because of COVID. So remember in COVID, you weren't buying nothing, right? It wasn't nothing to buy. Everything is locked up. Ladies couldn't go get the new eyelashes, ones that be like the little bat wings every time they talk. They couldn't get none of those. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't get a new lace front with the glue that you could see. Couldn't get none of those. Couldn't get the pencil on eyebrow. They had to figure out how to study their own hand, right? Filters became big. Couldn't go to the Mac store, you feel me, get the blushes, paint your face on for TikTok. None of that stuff was popping. Couldn't go to the club and buy a woman a drink and hopes of having sex with her. You feel me? It wasn't open. Couldn't go get the latest shoes so you can go impress the homies. None of that. It wasn't open. COVID shut it all down. You couldn't go buy them goofy Gucci clothes off the mannequin, making you feel like you can dress, but everybody looking at you like, yeah, that's expensive, but you look goofy. So you were saving all this money. You were saving all this money this whole time. And what you didn't know is that it was saving you for this time. Couldn't do any of that. It was saving you for this time. It was setting you up actually for a recession. So anyway, Americans probably don't feel it as much right now because they might have more savings. You might got a little more money in the pocket. So they might be telling you it's a recession, but you feel a little more prepared. You feel a little more confident. And the thing about recessions is they require you to believe in them. Yeah, we bought walkie-talkies for the car there. We was wild. Recessions require you to believe in them as well because recessions, like depressions, right? It's also an overall feeling of the economy. So what's happening right now that's interesting about this one is there a cognitive dissonance when we're looking at the numbers and the definition of a recession versus the feeling of being in a recession. You have to understand what's going on right now. So they playing with the minds of the people. You know what I'm saying? All the financial literacy people, all the financial experts, all the economy, they like, bro, according to our standard definition, we are in a recession. The government like, nah, this ain't really a recession. I know what y'all talking about, classic model. So the people don't really feel it yet. They don't know. This is the question everybody asking. Do you feel it? Is it out there? I don't know. Because a recession is usually felt. Last recession, you felt it. It just felt poor outside. It just felt like it's just no money out there. You just look at somebody and be like, damn, they broke. This recession different. Remember, everybody was faking it anyway. So a recession requires that feeling, right, of almost hopelessness. Things are going down. I should chill out. It's not the same exact level, right? People good at faking it. I don't know who broke nowadays. Everybody look like they got money. You know what I'm saying? Everybody look like they got people been in a recession. Black people like recession. Yeah, I've been in a recession my whole life. Tell me what's new. Y'all just now catching. You mean y'all just now noticing? So anyway, if you don't feel a recession, is it a recession? That's the question. Because now the definition is not catching up with the connotation, right? And these are metaphysical things. And actually, in my next high level conversation, we talk about a concept of esoteric knowledge and what they call egregors. Because there's an existence of ideas that when you believe in them, you create an entity, a physical thing that you bring to life, that you manifest. And it's through the collective manifestation that certain things exist. So if the collective doesn't believe in something, then it does not exist. This is key. So now you have the battle of beliefs. One people trying to get other people to agree with the idea of a belief system, while the dominant are telling people the latter, this is not true. So you got to understand what's playing on the psychological and the metaphysical level right now. And that's why I say this particular recession is different. But when you go to the gas, ooh, you go buy you some you go buy you some meat at the grocery store. Ooh, a girl want to go. She want to go on a date. Ooh, and the prices. See, ladies, this is why you got to appreciate fellas. Fellas be tricking on y'all on all the dates in the world, and then we in a recession. So that means that his tricking and costing him 10% more, maybe 15% more. So what are you doing to be 10% to 15 to 20% more valuable? Because now he's taking a bigger risk. Fellas, you taking a bigger risk. Let me give y'all the game. You taking a bigger risk. Oh, we're going to get into Web 3.0, but you see it say recession first. So I'm starting at recession. Then I'm going over to Web 5. Web 3 to Web 5. And I talk about Web 5. I give an excellent breakdown in the next high level. So, fellas, you got to remember this. Ladies, you want a man to take you out, you have to be 10 to 15% more valuable now. I'm just saying, like, you got to go do an extra workout. You got to speak a little more feminine. You got to get some affirmations. You might want to ask to be a secretary, give some business ideas. You got to be 10 to 15% more valuable because that same restaurant a little more expensive now. The gas is going to take the pickup and drop. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to give you the game. You gotta see. That's why I'm trying to give you the game. This stuff matters in your everyday life. You didn't know inflation was costing. It makes sex cost more. Inflation makes sex cost more. It's gonna cost you more, and it's not an asset anyway. It's already a liability. So when you spend money on liabilities, it costs you double. So really, it's 30%. Oh man. Man, we gotta talk about it, B. We gotta put this in. Ain't nobody. I'm the hood economist, man. I gotta put it in practical terms for you to understand. Fellas, ask yourself if it's worth it. Look, it's inflation out there, baby. I can only spend my money on assets, and I don't know if you're an asset. So let's just take a walk in the park. Let me just talk to you. Let me just talk to you. I know you want a Birkin bag. I know what you want. You know what I'm saying? But let me just talk to you. Oh, Ethereum Classic is at it's at $40 right now. It's going crazy. Let me just talk to you. Because I need to vet this process. I need to, you know what I'm saying, to figure out if this fits my budget before I spend $1 on you. I heard a brother say something. He said something crazy. Brother was like, on first date, you got to pay her car note, her rent. You got to pay for I said, this man lost his goddamn mind. This was wrong. These brothers get a little money. They go on the internet, man. They didn't got some money. They didn't sold some courses, some credit or something. All of a sudden, man, they trick of the year. Telling brothers, you got to pay a car note on a first date? What? For what? You know how much gas costs? Don't let her have a used car because used car prices done went up. Man done lost his mind. You know the ladies know it's crazy, but y'all gonna agree. Yeah, let's do it, King. Y'all know it's crazy. Y'all know that's just absolutely insanity. I'm from Oakland, so anybody doing that, they a sucker and they a simp, and they just don't know how to get a woman off their natural energy and being able to speak to her. You did. The bruh said, I'm not exaggerating. He talking about, bruh, on first date, you gotta let her know. You gotta pay the rent. You got. How do you even have that conversation? Oh, baby, so yeah, man, I'm having a good time with you and everything. But listen, man, I want to propose this to you. How much is your rent? I like you. I'm feeling you right now. I don't know nothing about you. I only know you for a few hours, but you know what I'm saying? What kind of car you got out there? I want to make sure I pay your car note. You know what I'm saying? I just want to set this up right now. What time is it paid? You feel me? I can send you over my routing and account information right now before we even go any farther. Hey man, it's crazy out here, B. Ladies, you don't even want a man doing that. He trying to buy you. You know what I'm saying? You don't even want that. Anyway, that's a side note, man. These recessionary times got brothers out here tripping. They got brothers out here tripping. You don't want that. You don't want that. That's simp activities. It's not approved. That's not approved. They said anything on the internet nowadays for a like and a click. I swear it's not approved. The Council of Manhood don't approve this. The Council of Players, you understand me, do not approve this. This is not God approved. This is not real nigga approved, not blood, crip approved. There's nowhere in the manhood code or Bible or Quran where this is proved anywhere. So you just, fellas, I just want to. I know these podcasts out here with these brothers that ain't had a woman until they turn 20. They just be saying anything. They just be saying anything. You just got to be careful. Back to inflation. So, like I said, man, inflation is high. Be careful. You spending too much money on these liabilities. Ladies, too. Like, y'all think wasting y'all time is cute. Don't get me wrong. I know y'all know the cheat code. Y'all know food is expensive. If you can get him to pick you up and send you the Uber and pay for the food, right? That's you saving money. So if you do that 3, 4, 5 times a week, and you factor in grocery prices, factor in gas and things of that nature, then you saving $100, $200, $300, and you calculated that this is gonna make your rent actually go down by 10, 20% based on the amount of money that you saved. So I know what I'm giving y'all the game, fellas. They got a whole calculator system. You are they recessionary plan. It's inflation. So yes, she gonna take that date. Oh, you want to go out, King? She gonna hit you with the King too. You want to go out, King? Whatever you want to do, King. Yeah, so you can treat her like a queen. I know what's going on. Oh yeah, if I go on 5 dates, and if I don't buy groceries here, then I say $500. I can apply that to the rent. Inflation went up 10%. That's about they got a whole chalkboard up there, like mathematicians. So listen, man, let's get back to it, man. Inflation is serious out here, B. I'm just trying to give you the game. I'm just trying to give you the game. They say consumer spending has been slowing. Americans have been saving. Keep your savings, right? Now, if you educate, I'm going to tell you the most valuable thing, and I really want y'all to be serious on this point. The most valuable thing you can do right now, the most valuable thing, I don't care what nobody tell you, is educate yourself. Educate yourself, B. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. Because education increases your value. So when you are valuable, you understand me? Then that's the more money you're able to make. So like during these times, things are going bad, you increasing your value about the blockchain, about crypto, about the economic system, financial literacy, ways where you can make money. You understand me? What's going on in the world? Every single day you do that, you allow your brain to unlock and relock and become more valuable because now you have more ways to think, right? More ways to mold your decisions that become valuable to how you're going to move about your day. All the people that I know that are successful today, they educated themselves on something. And the best time to do it is through this. Downtimes, recessions are the best time for winning. This like, you in football and hut, they say, yo, recession, everybody run. We going for the touchdown. This the time. This is when you say, okay, what can I buy with my money? I don't have a lot. Oh, I'm going to find something that will pay me forever. I'm going to get some knowledge. I'm going to get new perspective. I'm going to get new ways to think. You want to pay to be in rooms. You want to pay to increase your knowledge. This is the time where you want to work out. This is the time you want to find yourself eating better. You go through improvements during down times. So you upgrade and you become better. So you increasing your value. You are expanding amid contractionary times. You got this is expansion time. This is the way the supermind thinks. So I told y'all before, man, I drop, how rappers drop albums. Sometimes you your favorite rapper, they drop album once a year. Sometimes you get your favorite rapper, Kendrick, every half a decade. But you can't wait for them to drop a new album, even though you got to buy it, even though you got to stream it, because it's that heat and it's going to increase. It's going to be valuable to your life. That's how it is with me in these courses. I ain't dropped nothing in a while. I can drop something all the time. I could just be teaching and be teaching. Like this stuff right here, I don't have to do this online. I can close circuit and just make money off of it. But I'll wait till I put it together like an album. Because the album is different than a mixtape. Mixtape, you just throwing stuff out there. Most people, they be teaching, dropping these courses. It's like mixtapes. Oh, I got something here to teach. I got something here to throw. Man, you get that away for free. I get the mixtapes away for free. This is just a mixtape. But when you compose something that is going to upgrade people's life and benefit them for the rest of eternity, so people be waiting. They be like, that's why people be hitting me, yo, come on another one. You got something else drop me? Because they know I've never dropped nothing that wasn't valuable. It's life-changing every time. So these next two, high frequencies, because we've been planning these for months and months. So anyway, I get back to it. So interest rates, 2.5%. That means everything is the debt of the money costs more, man. To buy things costs more because they're trying to curve all of this. They're trying to bring, these are tools. I don't need to go into all of them, but you got to understand this. You have to understand these. And once you get a basic understanding of it, it's enough. Hear me out. Once you get a basic understanding of it, it's enough when you hear it, you know that, oh, this is going to affect me, because like no other time in history, people are feeling the effects every single day when they're making announcements in the news. And if it's not affecting you, then you should make your goal for it to affect you. Why does that make sense? Because it may mean you're not yet in that tax bracket. If the stock market goes down and you don't feel it, it's because you don't own any stock. Crypto goes down and you don't feel it, it's because you don't own any crypto. So some people celebrate their lack of ownership in the fact that they're not connected to these economic times, but the people who have the assets are the ones who winning. That's the wealthy. So you actually want to be abreast on these things because it means that now you got assets. See, it's easy when you ain't got nothing and not pay attention to nothing. No, you want to go buy these things. Oh man, the stock market down. Now you're talking to other people about economics. Inflation, this is affecting my portfolio. You got a portfolio, bro? That's what's up. But when you ain't got one, man, I don't give a damn about no inflation. I don't give a damn about no recession. I don't care about no stock market. I don't care about no crypto. I don't care about no NFT. I never even learned it in the first place. So I love the fact that, damn, I got to check my portfolio today because the Feds got an announcement. I gotta check. It's different levels to this. See, some people are happy not being connected. You feel me? Because you outside the circle of this economic opportunities and growth that's happening in this economy. No, I want to be in the circle with brothers like, portfolio down 30. Not the brother, I ain't got a portfolio, bro, but y'all know y'all push on. Push on. Nah, I want to be in that circle. Damn, what this man Fed chairman say? What the SEC talking about? Shit, they messing with my money. All right, so listen, I'm gonna have to cut this short because I got something to do, but I will be back. I'm gonna do a part 2 of this one because there's a lot more I want to go over. I didn't even get to go over in Web 3 and Web 5. So y'all stay tuned. I think around 4 o'clock. I will be going live at 4 o'clock. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I will see you at 4 o'clock, 4:44 today. Remember, Saturday, we dropping a high-level conversation. It's going to be different. If you want to be a part of BWO, just text BWO to 323-577-6692. If you want to get the current curriculum at a discount price, where we teach you all the things I just talked about in the wealth standard, all you have to do is text bundle to 323-577-6692. Yeah, I was just bringing in to help fix the sound so people can understand, they can hear me, because
okay,
it fixed the sound when I bring somebody in.
Reckless on here.
It's all good. I appreciate you though.
So you've been dropping all knowledge. I appreciate you for letting me come on and help you out there.
Absolutely. I appreciate you being out here observing.
Keys. I'm just going to shoot my shot. I think you're amazing. I think you're so handsome and all those things.
Well, I appreciate you. We got the BWO dropping, so can't wait for you to be in there. You understand me? Observe some of this good education and teachings, because I'm gonna shine the teeth in there when we teach it. You did?
Absolutely. I can't wait to see you. Thank you so much.
All right, now y'all be blessed.
All right, bye.
All right, so like I said, get the bundle pack. We got the BWO coming. Make sure y'all text down there to make sure y'all on the list. Text BWO, so therefore you can actually be on, the pre-list for the Supermind. Text Supermind or BWO, whatever you want to be a part of. We're gonna lock it in. The number is 323-577-6692 if you want that bundle pack. All you got to do is go look and see if it's worth it. I gotta go, so I'm gonna holler at y'all later, but I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Peace, family.